Last time on Shadow Piece, many battles started on Hachinosu Island, but the one taking our focus first was the showdown between the Sin of Envy Idio and his comrade Shooting Star Blue Gilly versus the sniper of the Blackbeard Pirates, Van Augur. Fighting Augur was sure to be tricky as he could freely teleport because of his warp fruit, but the long-limbed duo proved that assumption wrong very quickly. It wasn't common knowledge for the world, but Idio and Blue Gilly both ate a devil fruit, and with those powers they changed the flow of the battle. The Yin Yin fruit and the Yang Yang fruit were a special case even for devil fruits, as they were fruits that synergized with each other. Every time the Yin energy of Idio and the Yang energy of Blue Gilly collided, a harmonious reaction occurred. Harmony always adjusted the battle towards their advantage, and so they managed to hurt Van Augur multiple times. But the sniper wasn't completely helpless either. Adjusting quickly to what was happening, he managed to shoot through Blue Gilly's leg, but the long leg fighter pushed through the pain and jumped into the air. At the same time, Idio smacked his fists charged with yin energy together, and his already long arms got elongated even more and grappled Augur. His grasp was so firm that the Blackbeard pirate couldn't move even a centimeter, much less teleport away by using his powers. And from the sky, the star of the show was coming down, the shooting star. The air was thick with the scent of blood and gunpowder already. Many lower ranked members had already died. The battlefield was a chaotic harmony of screams, explosion, and the distant crackle of flames. Shooting Star Blue Gilly hurtled through the air, his form twisting like a spiraling meteor against the murky sky. His left leg trembled, a crimson streak of blood trailing in his path. The sniper shot from Van Augur had torn through his thigh moments before, leaving a jagged wound that wept blood with every pulse of his heart. Despite that, his face portrayed no weakness, only the fierce determination of a warrior who refused to let agony dictate his fate. Beneath him, Van Augur struggled in the iron grip of Idio, whose bulging arms flexed like steel cables as they crushed against the sniper's ribs. The Sin of Envy's bellowing roar tore through the battlefield, his voice a feral declaration of dominance. Veins pulsating along his biceps as his grip tightened further and further, making the Blackbeard pirate already scream out in pain. Senriku, his weapon, was useless in this constricted situation. Blood dribbled from the corner of his mouth. The toll of the relentless attacks, his breathing labored. Blue Gilly's descent was like the countdown to a bomb detonation. The earth seemed to hold its breath as he drew closer and closer, his right leg outstretched and poised for impact. Glowing with Yang energy as his signature move, the shooting star was about to hit. Yang is the counterpart to Yin, the offensive side of harmony. It is a hot energy that further increased the might of Blue Gilly's attacks, almost turning him into what looked like an actual fiery meteor. The technique's raw power distorted the air around him, shimmering waves rippling outwards as his speed continued to increase. But as this moment went on, every instant brought fresh blows of pain. The bullet wound seared as though a white-hot dagger was lodged deep in his flesh, and each shift in his momentum sent bolts of agony screaming up his spine. His teeth clenched so tightly that his jaw ached, but his eyes remained locked on Van Augur, truly a predator descending on its prey. All this happened in only a few seconds. However, to Van Augur, who was seeing the danger approaching, it felt like an eternity. Then it happened. Blue Gilly struck, and at the same time, Idio let go of the Titanic captain to not take any damage himself. Feeling the shooting star once was already enough for him. Gilly's foot slammed into Van Augur's chest with the force of a collapsing mountain, an eruption of raw energy cascading outward from the point of impact. The air split with a deafening crack, and the ground beneath the three pirates groaned and fractured under the pressure, sending jagged fissures tearing across the battlefield. Van Augur's body bent unnaturally, his spine arching against the brutal force of the blow. His mouth opened, and a silent scream escaped it, as his ribs audibly cracked, the sound like brittle branches snapping underneath someone's feet. Blood sprayed from his lips, painting the air with scarlet droplets that seemed to hang suspended for an agonizing heartbeat. Despite being some distance away, the force of the attack blasted Idio away as well. Both of their bodies sent skidding across the shattered ground. Idio tumbled but quickly found his footing, his bandaged feet digging trenches into the dirt as he braced himself for the second shockwave. The shooting star carried with it. The Blackbeard sniper wasn't so fortunate, however. His limp body twisted like a half circle. It rolled and bounced like a rag doll, Coming to a rest against the crumbled wall, Senriku still firm in his grip. His chest rose and fell erratically, each breath accompanied by a wet, rasping sound that showed the internal damage wrought by the devastating blow. Blue Gilly landed with a thunderous crash, his injured leg giving out beneath him and messing up his hero landing. He crumpled to one knee, clutching at the wound that now bled freely, even with the Amentaki compressing it. The earth beneath him formed a pool of long-limbed blood distributed between the fighters present. His breath came in ragged gasps, each one a struggle against the fire burning in his leg. Around him, the battlefield continued to be pure chaos. Even the destructive display of power was just being ignored by every fighter that was close enough to witness this. The silence shattered as Idio let out a triumphant yell, his long arm and fist raised high, while when Augur laid broken, his sharp eyes dimmed but still glaring with defiance. The title of Sin may be held by Idio, but the long-armed boxer always considered it a shared title with his partner. Blue Gilly, panting heavily, wiped the blood from his mouth and forced himself to his feet, his body swaying but his emotions carried him. This was the moment proving the long-limbed tribe's might. Not only the long leg or the long arm tribes, but the fierceness of all long-limbed people. And by that, I mean all. Blue Gilly strained himself to smile as Idio stretched out his arm to give his right-hand man a thumbs up. Bang, bang, bang! The two were already celebrating as 4 gunshots were made. Don't underestimate the Titanic captain. Those were the first words Van Augur said to them directly, his spine still circled in a shape not possible for a human. You two united the long-limbed people? The shots from Senriku landed on all of Augur's targets. First, the spot just before the palm of the hand Idio turned into a thumbs up. Second and third, straight through Blue Gilly's legs. And finally fourth, directly into the long-legged warrior's chest, barely missing the heart but destroying the ribcage. Let me introduce myself to you. Only pain could be felt in their personal battlefields. The surprise of getting hit by someone they thought was down amplified the feeling even more. My name is Van Augur, one of the 10 Titanic captains of the Blackbeard Pirates. My bounty is 375,800,000 berries, and I am also a member of the long-limbed tribes, specifically the long-spine tribe. Idio and Blue Gilly had the exact same reaction. Besides grunting and pain, the major shock was visible on their faces. They had faced people of the long spine tribe on their journey to unite the long-limbed people, but by the way Augur dressed and acted as well, they could never have guessed that he was one of them. But it completely explained the way his body was looking at the moment. But even after those surprise hits, he was on his last leg, barely being able to aim and thus also missing the kill on Blue Gilly. The long-legged fighter fell down after coughing up big volumes of blood, and Idio yelled for his comrade, running to him, basically forgetting the own pain he felt in the arm that got shot just now. Fitting for a Blackbeard pirate, he had an ugly grin on his face, as he fumbled putting in new ammunition into his gun. This battle was getting into its last exchange to determine the winner. But for today, this is the end of our weekly Shadowpiece episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I really was wondering if I should have made the race reveal of Augur the ending for this episode, just like I did now, or if I should have kept it a secret for the next week, making you think he was defeated for a bit longer. His bounty is also a classic Oda-style joke, as it is a Japanese wordplay and can be read as Sunaipa, so sniper, because that's what he is, a sharpshooter. Next week, this fight will come to an end, and the next one will start immediately. Until then, all that's left to be said is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. Pyro, out. Bye!